Sorry that I can't be here today. Thanks very much to Butler Bio and science teachers for helping cover for me today. We do want to make sure that we're starting on our unit 4 vocabulary. So if you'll have out these two pink sheets, they don't look pink on the board, but they're pink for you. They were handed out yesterday. There's some extras at the front. You should have the word list and the vocabulary definitions. And so we're going to go through and match these up because you need them to do your preview, your 4.1 preview. We're going to focus on these 4 words. And I'd like for you to really say them in your mind. You're welcome to say them out loud with me. The first one is going to be abiogenesis. Abiogenesis. And what I'd like for you to do is underline the A, circle the bio, and squiggle the genesis. There are 3 parts to this word, abiogenesis. And in the notes last night, you learned what this word means. So abiogenesis, thinking that in your head, abiogenesis. When we match that up, any volunteers, anybody who can match up abiogenesis? Let's see if you're right. It was B. The very first cells originated from molecules in the environment. And so what we want to understand about abiogenesis is it's a theory that explains how the very first cells could have come to be. If we have molecules like, let's add in here, next to molecules, let's add in P, C, L, N. I'm writing really big. You want to squeeze it in next to molecules. If there are proteins in an environment, and lipids, and carbs, and nucleic acids, a cell, under the right conditions, could have formed. Remember, this doesn't happen today because early Earth, the very first cells on early Earth, about 3.4 billion years ago, early Earth was very different. And so that's why it's believed that the very first cells formed just from molecules that were in the environment. And that's abiogenesis. The next word that we have is biogenesis. If you see those 2 words, you probably think they mean opposites of each other. But they actually go together. They explain the evolution or change of life. And so when we look at biogenesis, we're going to be using the definition C. Cells now continue through reproduction. And I'd like for you to circle now. This is how cells now continue. And we know all about that. We could even draw a little picture of a cell dividing to make 2 cells, mitosis. Or, if we're sexually reproducing, meiosis. But reproduction, sexual or asexual, is how life continues now. So abiogenesis and biogenesis. Those 2 go together to first explain how life might have started, and now to explain how life continues. These next 2 vocabulary terms are here to help us understand the variety of life that we have. What might the first cells look like, the first cells have looked like, and how do we now have all the thousands of different types of cells that exist? So next we have the heterotroph hypothesis. Now the word heterotroph is really new to us. So next to heterotroph, if you'll please write consume. Consume. Heterotrophs is a word for organisms who eat or consume food. Heterotroph. And so the heterotroph hypothesis is going to be A, cells change from only P and H. Now I want you to put a big star by this P and H. P and H, remember the P stands for prokaryotic. The ana stands for anaerobic. And the H stands for heterotrophic. So the very first cells were prokaryotic, anaerobic, heterotrophic. Remember, there was no oxygen, no O2 on early Earth. But I also want you to underline or squiggle this word change. What do I mean change? Does it mean that a cell crossed its fingers and wished and changed? it went and dyed its hair. What we really mean is that mutations, so again, I'm writing really big, but you want to write smaller. Mutations over, should we say over time? Or should we say over generations? Let's say over generations. As those cells reproduced through biogenesis, as they reproduced, they got different and different and different from each other. And so the heterotroph hypothesis explains how we started with one type of cell, prokaryotic, anaerobic, heterotrophic. But as you'll work on today, if mutations happen, then we have a larger variety of cells. The last word, endosymbiont theory, is going to match up with D. Small prokaryotes live symbiotically. This is a new word. But next to symbiotically, we're going to write together. Together. Small prokaryotes were living together, and that's how we think that we got eukaryotic cells. And there's evidence for that, such as that the mitochondria has its own DNA, and the chloroplast has its own DNA. So now you have these 4 words matched up. Now you're going to work on your preview. Your preview, remember, is going to be, I believe, page 71. And you're picking from these 4 words, and you're going to look up these 4 words in the book and see how is the book definition different from the definition that I've been given here. Then there's some diagrams for you to draw, and then once you're done with the preview, we'll be ready to work on today's assignment. So if you'll have out page 71 and work on page 71, please.